Alright, super quick update on ZIL. So not too much has changed since yesterday's video. My views are still the same. If you didn't watch the video yesterday, I was really talking about the macro market moves. If we look down at the squeeze mom, we are having a momentum shift in favor of the bulls. In yesterday's video, I talked about how the last momentum shift actually yielded a 97% return. And this is not me cherry picking the data, cherry picking the tops. I am drawing from the exact momentum shift until when the momentum indicator said that we topped out. Once again, you can see here, if I wanted to cherry pick, it'd actually be 140% rally. However, the last time these daily momentum shifts came over on the squeeze mom for Luna, we went up basically 2x. And I highlighted this in yesterday's video. We were down here on the 18th when we had our momentum shift, and we're currently only up 18%. So, you know, just to summarize yesterday's video, I still do think we have a lot of room to the upside. And what I said specifically in yesterday's video was I have my personal next price target up here at $120 per Luna. Now, I'm sure there are some people who are wondering, has my price target changed? Has anything changed since we've started coming down today and having a little bit of rejection? Well, nothing has really changed at all. And on the daily time frame, you can actually argue we're forming up a very, very nice bullish pennant right now. So, I mean, depending on how you draw this, I would argue this is probably the best way to define the trend. I would say, I mean, you could draw this down here as well. If you wanted to connect the wicks, you could do it like that. And I guess you could argue that this would have an apex on the 25th of April rather than the 26th. Either way, we normally break out of these bullish pennants and bull flags much sooner. So I am expecting a breakup. If we extrapolate, is that the price target? Have we talked about this before? Let's see. So if we extrapolate this price target, if we do break out of this bullish pennant, you could potentially see a move all the way up to $114, and I still think that's very conservative considering how the momentum shift that we are currently experiencing hasn't even left the hands of the bears. This means that we're only coiling down from losing this bearish momentum, and I've talked about this before, how these markets move in waves. We have bullish waves, we have bearish waves, and in my opinion, we're about to head over to a bullish wave that is going to last for the next couple of weeks at least before we have a local top. Now, I kind of highlighted this hopium scenario, and maybe it's just hopium for me because I do plan on selling a tiny bit of Luna up here at $120. It doesn't have to play out like this where we have a move up to the top of the channel and then a move down to the bottom of the channel. However, the trend is your friend. We've been bouncing in this channel once, twice, 3 times. We came down to the heart line, almost made it a 4th time. This is what I mean. So we could be invalidating the trend now because we have never come back to the heart line and then reverse. So I will be keeping my eye out for higher price targets. I've said this in my videos, 120, then $140, this is the 1.618 fib, and then my final price target at the psychological level and the 2.618 level, lining up to $200. That is really all I see in the macro term. However, you know, like I said, we are sizing up a 2.5% correction today. I'm really not worried about this. On the daily time frame, you can see we're holding the EMA ribbons very, very nicely. It looks like a very healthy retest in my opinion. On the 4 hour, you can draw this pennant a little bit differently. However, it does not affect the apex date, coming in at basically midnight on the 25th. So, you know, coming into the 26th of April, we will have a decision. So there's only about 3 more days. I do think this looks really, really good. So while we are hovering in this pennant, then, you know, I am expecting higher price targets. Keep your eyes on, I'd say, $90 flat. If we have a daily close and a daily push below $90, then in the short term, we might be coming down for some lower price targets. But that being said, I could actually see us coming all the way down to $89, and I'll show you why. If we have a wick down to $89 and we have an increase back up, then we could move this floor over, and this would be more like a bull flag, and then I guess you would draw like this, and you know, either way, depending on how long it takes, I guess this looks like a pennant anyway. We're basically waiting for like a couple more data points to see how this really wants to play out. Nonetheless, you can see long-term moving average in the EMA ribbons down here at $89. While we are above $89, I remain exceptionally bullish for Luna. I talked about this macro market momentum shift. The last time we had a market momentum shift like this, it was a 97% move. And yeah, I mean, we've only gone up a tiny bit. I don't want to take too much time in this video because not too much has changed. Like I said, we're only up 18%. On the much higher time frames as well, I'm completely not surprised to see this, but I've talked about this before, how Luna does not know what it feels like to enter a bear market. We are just accumulating to the upside. I mean, how many cryptos do you know that, you know, have a line of attack like this, where we're just attacking constantly higher levels? I mean, we're moving up a decent amount a day. Yeah, we're moving up decent amounts. I mean, this is, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we've got a crazy line of attack right now on this trend line, and if we look at the weekly EMA ribbons, we've just never broken below them. So, you know, in theory, worst case scenario, we'll just come back into these EMA ribbons whenever we're ready. And like I said, I do believe at some point, potentially $64 could be on the table again, whether we come down there sooner or whether we come up to 120/140 and then come down here later. I do think it is likely we could have a retest of this trend line. Either way, you know, I maybe that's just a little bit of hopium for myself, because I do plan on reaccumulating some Luna after taking profits at these regions. I mean, if you can see, if we'd come down from $140 all the way down to, you know, 70 again, let's just say 70 hypothetically, then, you know, you're getting a 50% discount, and then you could ride the next wave all the way back up. Maybe that's just a little bit of hopium. I'm telling myself maybe that will never happen. We are seeing a strong push to the upside, and once again, the weekly time frame, it has only just started to reset. Like, we reset the bullish momentum for the past 2 weeks. We came back, almost came down to the heart line, and now we are having another big bullish push up. So honestly, this line down here might just be a little bit of copium for me. Honestly, I do think it is more likely we're going to come up to at least $140, and when I say at least $140, my minimum price target right now on Luna is 120, but I could definitely see 140 being on the table before we do come down for a more sizable correction. The more macro time frames are basically saying, you know, we're going to chop our way up to 200 in the next couple of months or so. So either way, I like what Luna's doing. I think dips are for buying, not financial advice. I do just like the project. I like the setup, and you know, to be honest, this isn't my favorite altcoin from a fundamental perspective. It's not. Like, I think Solana is easily my favorite altcoin from a fundamental perspective. But keeping it completely real, the chart on Luna is a lot nicer than any of the other altcoins that I do look at least in my opinion. I mean, this just slow, I mean, I'd say slow, but we're just pretty speedily rocking up a decent amount of pace. Like I said, we've got this very, very nice line of attack that is just exponentially increasing for Luna. And like I said, I mean, people who hold Luna, you know, congratulations to you. You've obviously picked a winner, but you don't know what it's like to be in a bear market. I mean, the most this has had is a 58% drop. And I talked about this. I mean, this drop, you know, it occurred over a couple of weeks or so, and then if we take this, we made a new all-time high in 38 days. This is what I mean. Like, if you think this is a bear market and then you're making new all-time highs in 38 days, I envy you, man. I think you've lived through some better times in crypto than me. Nonetheless, I think Luna looks pretty great. It's got a great chart set up right now. It is holding all the supports on the daily and the 4-hourly that it would need to see. Higher time frames like the daily and the weekly show that we are having a huge momentum shift that, in my opinion, will easily carry us up to $200. That is a more of a long-term target, though. Do bear in mind, my immediate short-term targets are 120 and 140. That is all I see for Luna. Looking very nice on all time frames, in my opinion. That is all I've got for you today. Once again, none of this is financial advice. If you did like the content, please like, comment, subscribe. And as always, not financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.